as long as John Cena had, he could have used any kind of political pull to do the opposite of make him a little bit better and to show people what he's capable of. Because what happened the day after this that was interesting was how after all these years people saying you need to learn how to wrestle, he's just now in this one match he showed how if he wanted to he could have wrestled the way most people wrestle. He could have learned how to do that if he had listened to people. And even though he said in real life to Chris Van Vliet that he just wanted the fans to know what he was about, which I understand that. But if he had taken the time to learn how to wrestle the way that people probably told him he needed to learn, I think if he had spent as much time doing that as much as he did cutting promos that people know what he was about, I don't think people would have questioned his ability to wrestle. Because just look over that, the right arm that has the thumb taped up as a tribute to Umaga. Just trying to do that is very old. That's an old school trait that a lot of people used to use. Usually on the knee, because they like to use a leg submission. So that is why. So I think if he had spent more time when he was younger resorting to that, I think people would give him more credit than they do. Because that kind of tactic, most people would say that type of tactic comes from not only being around the business, but learning the mental aspect of it. Because there's a lot of psychology in this business, and a lot of it has died in the WWE because of how much Vince McMahon had wanted to change the business. But the more that indie businesses around, we have more of an opportunity to see the old school psychology come back. After they started booing Heyman, Solo told him, "Give me the microphone. I want to hear what he has to say."
Why are you wasting your breath talking to them? We didn't come here to talk to them.
He's right.
We came here to talk to John Cena face to face.
He was right. That's one thing I always ask is when it's supposed to be a face-to-face meeting, why would Paul Heyman talk to the audience when this whole thing is about one of the men he represents and his opponent?
orders from the tribal chief. And those orders was to give you this microphone so you can say goodbye to them while you still can. Because come tomorrow, you won't be able to. That's it. Do you realize who you're in the ring with? We've been waiting for you to talk for over a year, and that's all you bring to the table. Oh, man. I can do this with half a voice, and it's only going to take 90 seconds to cook it. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm not going to say goodbye to them. I'm going to say goodbye for them. We all know the only reason you got a job here is because of your cousin. And we all see you, homie, walking around thinking you're some big badass enforcer when you're nothing but a bargain basement ass ripoff. So do me a solid, Solo. Tape your thumb up extra tight. Because the only place it's getting stuck tomorrow is straight up your ass. Yeah, it's about 90 seconds. The Raspy Boys caused by the Samoan squats last week, but it doesn't matter. John Cena is in a mood as he heads to Crown Jewel tomorrow. Maybe Raspy Boys, but John Cena was spitting fire just now.
So, what can I say about that promo? In fact, he thought that, like the John Cena thought that it took a minute and a half to wipe the floor with him verbally, and the fact that it took more in 2 minutes what John Cena said in a minute and a half. So the fact that Solo got more, spoke with more purpose than John Cena did, when it's the same thing for John Cena. In fact, he does not realize, even in character, that he does not realize that people expect this from him, in that Solo didn't need to say a lot. He just needed to stand there and have Paul Heyman or Roman or Jay or Jimmy talk for him. Doesn't show lack of ability. But in fact, that shows just how much of a presence Solo has. Because when you look at the classic, look at the classic wrestling, like for instance, Solo, Jimmy J, their brothers and sisters, their father, and their father's uncle and two uncles and one of them is Roman's uncle. They never spoke. They always had somebody speak for them. So that in itself shows that at least the character John Cena on TV does not understand. Not understand that Solo never needed to talk, neither did Reigns. The longer you keep them quiet and the longer you have Heyman talk for them, the more it helps them. I mean, that's what helped Brock Lesnar. That's probably what helped Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. They started out was the tutelage they had, not just from Kurt Angle, but from Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman was out there with every match they had. Paul Heyman was out there coaching them. They come back, and finally some order was restored for this match. Finally, instead of just having people separate them until the match and having Damage Control at ringside with Bayley, they had Damage Control banned from ringside. You know what I'm not quite understanding is how this episode's almost over. They weren't even close to being in the main event. The worst tag team as far as appearance go would have to be Pretty Deadly, because they are about to go up against two of the toughest, hardest hitting men on the roster, and they don't even know to dress up in street clothes. Or better yet, they don't even know how to dress up the way men usually dress up. But I didn't think that I could get in trouble for saying the word that I'm thinking of. I'll just say this. They don't look like men, they look like they don't look tough. They just don't. And I know they are tough because of the pain they have to endure. They slammed into the mat of the ring, but they don't look like men. I'm sorry, they just don't. They don't dress like men. They don't act like men.